So I'm in my Microsoft Teams right now, and what we see is just the fundraising team. You, for a lot of you folks, this might be very familiar, and it's a lot of you have been working in Microsoft Teams recently. So completely fair if a lot of these are just kind of a rehash of what we've done. But what I'm going to do is click on a new feature. It's called lists within Microsoft Teams. Some of you might have been taking advantage of. Um, and what it does is it gives you different lists that you can do. And what I've done is every time I create a list item, it automatically does a bit of a flow in the background. So I'm just going to click on create new here. Actually, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to show you here. I do have the template here stored. And that's the fundraising letter template that we have. So you'll see it filled out in a bit. I'm going to create a letter, and then I'm going to click on the new item. And now the information that we have here, it's very simple and straightforward. You can add multiple different columns in here, and it's sort of like mail merge if you have done it before. So I'm just going to give a fake name here, McEwen account. And it's maybe George McEwen. And George says he wants to give us 5,000. So I'm going to save this. Now, so it's been added to this list. This is just a way that we track it. But once again, the whole point of automation is this is sort of the trigger. So do this, and then as soon as the Power Automate waits here and says, okay, the next time you add something to the list, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to click on Files here, and then I'm going to go to the working folder, because once it completes the template, it puts it into the working folder. You'll see the final folder, what it does, but we're going to come back to that in a second. So the thing about Power Automate, it does take a quick second, so I'm just going to refresh it here. So here it is. This was created a few seconds ago. We're going to open it. And the cool thing about, once again, the more stuff you bring into Microsoft Teams, just notice that I'm only doing everything in Microsoft Teams. I'm not moving from Outlook to email just yet, right? I'm not going back and forth. So this was the template we had. We've already filled out, I haven't done anything, and it's already taken the date, which is today's date, his name, and then right here I have $5,000. And it picked up my name too as well, because I'm logged in, as you can see right here at the top right hand corner. I'm logged in as myself. So it's all picking up all this dynamic information. So I'm going to close this. And what I'm going to do is do the second part, which is sending it over for approval. So I'm going to take it a bit I'm going to take it a bit further, and I'm going to open it in SharePoint here. So all the files within Microsoft Teams are actually, this is a little tip, it's actually hosted in SharePoint. So whenever you create something in Teams, create a team, it creates a SharePoint in the background. Anyways, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to click on the three dots here, click on Automate. And what we're looking for is the flow. It should, right here, the letter approval flow that we custom created. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to ask me a pretty important piece of information. It's going to ask me how much is this, how much is the donation amount going to be. And the reason why, okay, it's not important right now. I'm going to put 5,000, but when it's under $10,000, I want it to be sent to the rest of the team to be approved. But if it's over $10,000, then it should send a direct message to a higher approver, maybe the manager, because only the manager maybe has to look at it, right? So I'm going to let it do its thing right now, and I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to show you a day in the life of someone different. So this would be in the approval side. So usually, if someone, if Steph sends me a letter to approve, and I'm I'm the manager or even just one of her colleagues, I would look at the letter, maybe make some changes, and that's my approval because I'm sending it back to her in the email, right? But if we're going back and forth, that kind of gets messy. There's multiple emails we're dealing with, etc. And maybe maybe I'm busy, and then Steph, it's been 5 days, and then Steph has to call me up or maybe message me, go back and forth. So there's a lot of back and forth that we can probably get rid of and a lot less time spent doing those small things where we can just automate a lot of this. So today what I want to do is myself, I want to look at the letter, I want to approve it, and then let the submitter know that it's been approved. And then finally it should create a PDF automatically because we want to send over PDFs, not a Word document, to the maybe to print it out to the printers or something like that, or even it's nice to have PDFs being sent out rather than changeable Word documents. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you the approval process. So we're going to go back to the fundraising Microsoft team, and if we go to the posts, what we'll see is a new message, and this is in the fundraising general team. Because it's under $10,000, it's going to go into the Microsoft team, so anyone can approve it. So I'm just going to look at this, and this is the link for it. I'm just going to click approve here, and I can enter my comments or whatever. So good job or something, and I'm going to click on submit. And what it does, it takes a quick second here. And what it does is I could approve it or reject it. But right here, uh, just to show more here, it just gave me a notification. It just tagged me. And this is a direct link to the letter. This is the outcome. It's been approved. Good job was a was a comment that we entered, but that's exactly what we're looking at here. So that's been approved. Now, if we go to the file section, and remember that final folder that I talked about earlier, I'm going to click on final. And right here, a few seconds ago, the George McEwen one. So I'm going to click on that one. And this is a PDF that was created exactly with, let me zoom in here. So this is exactly how we created it. That's that template. I can click on this and I can send it out through email, maybe send it to the printer, whatever. That's like the final format here, right? So once again, just to show you very quickly, I'm going to go into my messages just because we don't have a lot of time here and I want to get to Q&As. But these are personal messages. You can see it says dollar amount is 12,000. So as an approver, if it goes over 10K, it actually comes to me directly. So it's the exact same thing, approval or not approved. But the whole option here is I can go into, when I send it out for approval, I could set that dollar amount, or it could be different things. Maybe it's a different type of letter, and you can select and say, this is a donor letter, this is a thank you letter, this is a different types of letter, and maybe it has a different logic to say because it's a donor letter, maybe Steph is the one that has to approve of it. Maybe because it's a thank you letter, maybe it's Keith that needs to approve it. So you can have those kind of cool workflow logic differentiations, and that's the whole point of the automation is to we make some decisions during approval workflows, so you can do those kind of logic trees and build them out. Finally, the whole point of this exercise, besides automation, is everything is all in one area. So when I go back to the files, like I showed you before, and click on General here, all the working documents, I can come back and take a look at here. If I want to make changes, let's say as an approval, I don't want to approve it just yet, I can go back in here and it's a live document, right? So instead of an email chain of 50 different documents, all the changes during the approval, before the approval, even after approval, I can make the changes here. So in the Word document, so as an approval, instead of rejecting it, so it's going to be very rare that you reject it unless you don't want to work on it. But maybe as an approver, I want to go in and make the changes itself. So A lot of good features here, and once again, that's exactly what we're looking to do, and what we've done is become a lot more efficient and do this quickly, instead of, we've done this in a few minutes versus a few days just to get an approval, because we're going back and forth, we're looking for a good copy of it. It's there, you can add different notifications every day, or every 2 days, just to check up on people during their approval. So there's many ways you can expand out on this.